Hey, welcome. Got a new panel today. Maybe if you guys want to introduce yourselves or everybody, and we can go from there, I guess, and then just hit up on a topic that we all feel good about.
Sounds good. Do you want us just to jump in, or you want to call us
Yeah.
by name?
Oh, go ahead.
My name is Victor. I'm the host of the twice daily Truth Wave Energy Meditation. Comes on at 9:45 a.m. and 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you'd like to get your energy on, get some good meditative stuff, we work on the person, and then we focus on the planet each time. So come by, check us out.
My name's Ben. I have a channel named Ben Bacon Bits, and that's simply because I couldn't decide upon any other name, so it's stuck. I've been taking a hiatus shortly, or for a while, but I am planning to get back into some psychology subjects and start streaming again. I'm also a mod for Mr. Victor, right there. So yeah, that's what I got.
All right, go for it, Eric.
Oh, okay. I'm Eric. Hopefully, I don't cut myself on that knife. I'll put that down. Eric, Astral Engineer on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. I mostly post on TikTok, though, doing posting videos on energy healings I've done things like Robert the Doll, which is a curse doll. I've done postings on like CIA, Draconians, Reptilians. I'm going to do one later today about my energy healing for the KKK and other various groups that are have created a lot of suffering for others, but they themselves have a lot of suffering that they have been dealing with for many generations as well. So that's a lot of what I do. And then I'll be working with the Full Moon Jam, which is a group out here in Chicago, for anyone who knows about it, that does basically a get together on the full moons during the summer where they have like pyro dancers, drums, and all sorts of other cool activities out in the parks. So I'll be working with them hopefully during this next summer to bring about like Reiki healings and witches and Native American shamans and other stuff like that to the Chicago area.
Ooh, that sounds awesome. My name's Josh. I am Mr. Floyd on my channel, Mr. Floyd's Universe, and I'm a channeler. I channel Archangel Raphael, Saint Germain, Goddess Isis, Kuan Yin, Sekhmet, White Buffalo, Calf Woman, and if I'm looking to have a heart attack, I channel Archangel Michael as well, but his energy is a little too, yeah. So yeah, I'm an open channel. I do a show every day, Monday through Friday, called Good Dawning with Mr. Floyd and family. Where we channel, we discuss building your universe and whatnot at 10:33 in the Dawning East Coast, 7:33 West Coast. I do tarot and oracle and all kinds of different things. I also read Akashic records. And so, yeah, it's just building my universe here one step at a time. Grateful to be here.
Wow.
Very cool.
Everybody went, right? Yeah, I guess, I'm just me doing a lot of different things. And right now, me and Luna are, if you've watched any of the videos of our channel or any of the channels, me and Luna are creating the New Earth School, Rip into Light. And,
Nice name.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, Rip into Light, New Earth School. And, I channel, I do breath work, I do Kundalini activation, facilitating, breath work facilitating. I spend time on spaceships. I pretty much do it all, I know that I'm here and Luna's here as well to assist humanity. Like my biggest thing that keeps coming through is I'm here to assist humanity and remembering who they are, why they're here and what they came here to do, because that's exactly what I was struggling with and lost and confused. And so, I think that a lot of us light workers are here to assist the massive awakening that we're all going through and shifting the planet into the new earth and the golden age. And, freedom for us all, So yeah, that's a little bit of it, and we're on all social media platforms, and as I believe everyone is, and we'll try to put it in the video, and so yeah. And how's everybody feeling today?
I'll
Awesome.
go. Oh, I'm feeling great. I've had a couple days of, I mentioned this in the pre-show, of waking up and not feeling the best, just feeling almost a sense of dread sometimes over the last couple of days. I didn't have it this sunrise, but yesterday, the day before, and of course I dug into that to see what it was. And I think it comes down, and this may resonate with a lot of you. We're getting close to that choice point. You know how it's like you're on your path and all of a sudden some big storm, some big duty storm comes into your life, and it's, we're in charge of how we react to any given situation. So we can either capitulate and give up, or we can keep trying and stay on our path because it's almost there. It's almost there. We've been hearing it for years. Many of you know this. We're almost there. We're almost there. The conspiracy people live by this, and God bless them, or source bless them, however you want to say that. But I think the key is to keep going, because you're starting to see the signs. We're right there at that choice point, or right there where we're going to choose to go one direction or stay and fiddle around in this nonsense. And I think we're really there. Does that resonate with anyone?
Yes, 100%.
Totally.
Yeah. I do agree with you, because well, I mean, some of it I just use to keep giving me hope, that more people are waking up, more people are realizing the truth of who we are, how powerful we are. And, that's just, it just keeps me going, seeing people like you, and men stepping up, and, like, yeah, that's my 2 cents.
It's like climbing out of that hole, though. When you're climbing out of the hole, you only see so much light. And as you keep climbing, you get into more and more light. Here at the top of the hole. And I think Victor's got a good point there. We're right there where we can we're right there reaching up, where we can feel the top of the hole. And it's like, now all we need to do is have that power within us to pull our bodies up, climb out of that hole, and be like, wait, we're in our new universe. But yeah, Victor's right. I'm right there as well. I'm right in this shifty space where it's like things are starting to fall in, things are starting to finally move forward, breaking open, dealing with YouTube's algorithm and such, and things are starting to finally break open. But it's for years it was like, is there ever going to be any change? It's a light.
Yeah.
We're making the change inside ourselves, but where's that light outside? Why is it that every single day it feels like Groundhog's Day, even though it's not? So as we change, because in Groundhog's Day, he had to change, not the universe around him didn't change. He changed to find a new universe. And I think we're at the point where we're going to finally pop in, like in Groundhog's Day, where he wakes up and then that one day where he's the love that he was looking for in himself. And it finally happens.
Mm-hmm. I that completely.
I noticed a short about Groundhog Day the other day, Groundhog's Day, and somebody estimated that he experienced something like 8,261 days before he got the lesson. And
I looked that up.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's because two of my friends, they were doing a showing at one of the local theaters, like a 24-hour showing of Groundhog Day, just to be in the theme of the movie. And they looked it up because there are a couple of different theories. And yeah, there's like the 8,000 days, but then there are some theories that he was there basically for like thousands of years, to the point where like because he knew where everybody was, what they would do, what they would say in any circumstance, no matter what he did, and all the different ways he killed himself and all this other stuff. Like, he had to be there for a very, very, very long time to go through all that. And I just can't even imagine what that was like.
Wow. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was just gonna say, to your point earlier about like us being here for doing this for so long. Like, my heart goes out to you all, and then some of the other folks who've been doing this since like the 60s and 70s even. Like, I am fairly young, especially in this group, and I've my awakening came in like 2021, so I'm fairly new to the scene with all that. So I can't imagine having been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years, like some of the folks who've been doing this
Wow.
way back when, like that's it. It's hard enough having to been around and wait like 4 or 5 years for certain things to come around, let alone like 40 or 50.
Wow. I have even less time in it than you do. So this is,
Oh yeah.
I've barely been doing this for about a year, but with me, it just started with exploration. I had a preconceived set of ideas and, just started exploring things because why not? Started getting into things like the Project Stargate. When they declassified that, you can dig into that, and it's like, okay, this will be fun. Will anything happen out of it? Heck no, but it'll be fun. And it's like, holy crap, this actually, like, who would have thunk? And then starting to dig into other things, and it's like, there's a lot more going on than what I thought. It's like, so now I'm in this stage of where I don't know how this fits together. kind of thing. But lately, on my end, it's been more of seeing things come to light. A bunch of hidden things from how do I put this? From people that are probably, I guess, a low vibe term, who are doing things that are kind of naughty. And, this happens. You see the result of all these people and victims of this. Like, when is this going to come to light? And just recently, a lot of it has blown up. And it's just been, like, wow, does this really happen? It's like, yeah, it does.
I would love to. What do you guys feel about this? Like, everybody, like, kind of talking about their, like, when they woke up and their process, and how do you guys feel about that? Because I'd love to hear yours, as you're already kind of talking about it. And that's like the question that I feel like every single person, because I mean, to Eric's point, I woke up at like 7 years old and I'm like 46. So I've kind of been on this journey a long time, questioning everything. And that's the one thing that everyone I notice waking up says is like, there must be more to life than I've been told. And then starting to question everything, and I'm starting to see that become a pattern, and more people are saying the same exact thing, where they're like, what am I doing? What have I been doing for 20 years, 30 years? Like, this doesn't seem right. Like, and just starting to question everything, which I was already doing, like I said, really young, I think around 7. So I'll go into it last. Like, I'd love you guys, maybe even if you want to start, because you were already kind of going into it a little bit.
Okay. Let's see. Well, yeah, I was exploring. I've been exploring psychology for a while, mainly through the avenue of body language and confidence and things like that. I've been doing a lot of studies with Chase Hughes, a lot of courses with him. And that slowly led me to start exploring some of this, oh, this will be fun. Yeah, we'll do some CIA declassified stuff. This will be great. And it's like, yeah, this is just going to be for humor's sake. And yeah, like I said, Project Stargate was the first one. And you could get a class on Udemy for $20. It's like, yeah, this, I'll be able to say, yeah, I did this and blah, blah, blah. And I never in a million years would have expected to get anything. And I had a friend who stepped me through it, and we were doing our remote viewing on some of the stuff she was, some of the places that she knew about. And what was amazing to me is we started out, and she was kind of guiding me a little bit, but we started getting into things like, there's no way on earth I could possibly know what you're talking about. I mean, like, one of them was just the name of a boating club. I mean, it'd be something that you could Google. You'd probably wind up with 40 or 50 of them. And it was just amazing to see he starts sketching this out. Okay, I see this. This doesn't make sense. There's no way. This is all complete garbage. And you show it to her, it's like, no, you have a boat club in the middle of what looks like a forest. And she's like, no, that's right. It's like, no, that doesn't happen. All boat clubs are on the beach. It's like, no, you go a little bit further, and sure enough, down a hill, and it was someplace off in Tennessee, I think. So yeah, that led me to that, and then I started getting in more into gateway, the gateway process. That was with the Monroe Foundation. Started getting a little bit into that, and I more or less just pretty much got in the HemiSync and started digging into the process of being able to synchronize your brain on both sides through the use of audio and things like that. And then I started digging into one project which Chase turned me on. It's using Dan Go has a video on it where, I don't have enough, I have too much light going on here. What they do is they take a leveling laser that has crosshairs on it, they beam it on a surface, and then they found, this is kind of strange, they found through the use of
Bring it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and say it. They found that through the use of DMT and shining the laser on the wall, I don't know how, it'd be like the guy decided to eat, you see that chicken over there? I'm going to eat the first thing that comes out with rear end. It's kind of like that, why would you do this? But he has an excellent video on it. He decided to take DMT and then look closely at the laser. Get really close up to it and, see inside of it. And what they found was that the DMT creates a altered state of consciousness. And what they're able to do is, looking at the diffuse laser closely, they're able to see symbols that are not on the surface. They're not, I don't know how to explain this. It's kind of like the laser, you're not looking at the light, it's kind of like it cuts into the surface, and the surface that you're seeing is actually not the wall, it's behind the wall. And you start looking at it, it's kind of like the magic eye. You can start to see that open up pretty quick, where it's like, I can see a surface behind here. And what they've started noticing was there's a series of symbols. Now, if it's an hallucination, this would have a lot of properties. And they noticed that other people were seeing the same symbols. And if it was a hallucination, it would do simple things like it would follow your eye and things like that. And they're noticing that's not the case. And what's happening with the lasers, like you see a symbol, one of the ones I see a lot is something that looks like that. And now that's not showing up. But they see this odd symbol. I didn't realize the whiteboard was so far away. But what happens is they see these symbols, and it's like the laser, it's like this is on the back surface. It doesn't go with the laser. Like, you see a symbol and it goes up and down. No, it's like the symbol stays. And when you move the laser, it's like you see another symbol up here. You move it back down, you see this symbol again, which is just, it's very counterintuitive, but it speaks to it not being an hallucination, and the fact multiple people see the same symbols in the same place. And then finally, the kicker for me was they invited Chase Hughes along, and he did it, and he reported the same thing. So I started getting into it, trying to use hypnosis, meditation, spirit of thankfulness, being generally high vibe, HemiSync, throwing everything I could at it and seeing if I get the same results. So far, out of 35 tries, I've had 2 attempts where I've actually seen things. And so I'm hoping to go all the way soon and do their full blown, because I know what I'm seeing is pretty hard, because you see their results and like, oh, wow, yeah, I can see that. And it's like glaringly obvious. To me, I have to really concentrate, and I have to make sure that, my imagination's not getting the best of me. The cares of the day aren't getting me going. But to me, things like that, it's like, what does this mean? People say, does this mean we're in the Matrix? I don't know. I don't know. You see these oddball symbols, and I've been trying to trace some of them down. I talked to Chase just for a sanity check, and I sent him a couple symbols. Is this what you see? And he's like, yeah, that looks like one, and that looks like one. And it's like, okay, but what does this mean?
That's what I think is interesting about this, Ben, is once more and more data comes out about this, if you're looking through, if you happen to be looking through that laser and seeing a stick of wood, a wall, what do they call the wall joist, whatever, a frame, you're seeing the wood. Are you seeing that symbol of wood? And I can't wait till these correlations start coming together, because if you're doing it on metal, are you seeing the symbols for metal? Are you seeing it if you do it on a lettuce? Are you seeing the symbol of lettuce? I find that fascinating.
I tried doing it on skin once on my own hand to see, but unfortunately, I think your skin absorbs too much of the light and it doesn't work. But yes, and it's like the only way to put it, there's hundreds and hundreds of symbols. I only see a few at a time. When people are on DMT, they can see a full field and they see big parts of it rotating.
Oh, wow.
And things like that. So that's the reason why I'm really wanting to try that, just for the clarity and to try to actually catalog a lot of these symbols. But yeah, I've seen symbols and numbers. I posted a few of them on Victor's X site, just trying to look for if anybody knows what these symbols, it looks a little bit like Japanese, but it's not. You see numbers in there, but it's like, am I seeing the number 3, or is it a symbol of something else?
I wonder if it's sacred geometry, possibly.
I've been I tried looking at I've been trying to look at runes, I guess is what they're called. Now it's not, at least I haven't, but they're, like I said, there's hundreds of symbols, and it kind of looks like computer code. And it goes, the thing is, don't get too far away from the mic. When you're looking at it at the wall, you have like slit, and it's kind of like that slit or this beam of light, it's kind of like it breaks the wall open, and you can see some code back here. If you move your head up, you can see some code down here. If you move down here, you can see some code up here. It is just mind-blowing. And it's like, but yeah, I've been, somebody sent some symbols, and they said that could be, I think they were used in astrology. So yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to find
even possibly
what is
even possibly light language, could be another form of, because that seems so many different variations. I write light language, I draw light language, so and I've seen tons of sacred geometry. I'd love to see, maybe. Oh, someone was trying to say something?
I was just going to say, I don't know if you've also looked at like Enochian, which is like the language of the angels. There's the Book of Enoch, which a lot of like old school alchemists back in like Newton's time and all that stuff, they channeled or like had these experiences with angels, and some of them I know channeled and like wrote out like supposedly the language of angels, and that's what Enochian is. So that could be related to that as well, but just throwing anything out there.
And to throw something else out there, if you Google it, and this was a few years ago, scientists say that they found at the known edge of both ends of the universe, they found digital code.
Ooh.
At the edges of at the far edges of the known universe, they said it stops and there's digital code.
I will definitely thank you for that, because that will give me another thing to dig down to. I will definitely look up the. Is it actually in the Book of Enoch, or is it adjacent?
I can't remember.
Okay. But yeah, no, I will check both those out, because I'm just trying to find something where, what the flip, it's like, it's not Japanese, it's not anything, and it's just, and there are numbers in there, but it's like, is this a number 3, or is it, something that looks like a 3?
I've seen
Yeah.
Dan Go's videos. I've seen those videos. Dan Go goes live every night, just as an FYI. He's live every night, but generally. But I've seen those videos, and it's insane. When with the camera angle just right, it looks like the wall's alive. Like it's ain't like it's the coating. Like when our end, we're manifesting a wall. So we go to the store, we pick up a piece of drywall, we finish it, we stick it on the wall, we put some screws in it, tape it up, and paint it. But there's obviously, if we're living in if this is a toroidal field that we're creating based on our energies, as Saint Germain would state, then technically, if we're ginning something, creating drywall, there's got to be a code or some sort of energetic behind it outside of just drywall, right? So in this aspect, is that the living code that you're seeing for the greatest for like in the Matrix when he wakes up and he's like, just looking at everything as green digital code? Is that what we're really seeing is the question. I mean, are we really is this wall solid, or is this wall a digital expression of itself that we've created? So when we create something, that leads to, are we digital expressions of ourselves? And are we sitting in a digital experience? Is this even really real? I mean, we are our own energetic field, and it's obvious whatever we think and do, we create. So if that's the case, then are we encoding our own universe? There's many deep levels to this.
Ooh,
That's a nice rabbit hole.
I'd love you to go deeper in that. And I'd love you to go deeper in what you said about the edge of the universe.
Well, the edge, I read it and it just kind of was like, okay, if we listen to Musk or anybody who, 99.9% chance we're living in a simulation in some fashion. And if this is, are we just our energy as source? And if we're calling source, even source would lead back to the guy, what is that coded us, theoretically, if source code, right? And so if we're sitting here going, oh, thank you, source, for all the energy, are we really just thanking a master coder?
And thus far, I've been trying to, aside from the original video and the one he did with Chase, I've been trying to avoid as much of that as possible, just to try to get what I can see without any threat of corruption or maybe influence. It's kind of like pareidolia. Somebody says, oh, that looks like a car, and okay, yeah, it does look like a car. I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible, at least until I try hypnosis from before I was using hypnosis inductions that I had recorded, but I'm trying to get with Teresa to actually do a custom hypnosis on me. And then, of course, I also want to do the full-blown DMT experience. Once I do that, then I want to really start hitting, what other people have written. But I'm kind of afraid doing what I'm doing. I'm really kind of afraid of suggesting, at least subconsciously suggesting something on myself. And I want to be able to catalog as much as I can and then take it to these people and say, okay, does this fit? But what is the answer?
So you want to take more of a scientific method approach on this then, Ben, than just going with your gut. You want to put it down more scientifically to see how this lays out before you allow your gut to mix into that.
That's what I'm attempting, and who knows how successful I
right. My theory on DMT, I've always had this thought that DMT is the molecule that holds us into the current space and time that we're in. Because when you take DMT, it blows you out of your current space. You're in another dimension, right? So we all have DMT within us, and I think it's like kind of like Metatron's cube, so to speak. Like that DMT, like Metatron, like holds us into our current frame, right? And so if we take DMT, then we blow out the DMT in our brain and we explode that. So we step out. We're then released from the current field that we're in. That's why we step into those alternate realities. And I think that DMT itself is showing us, or would show us, and I've taken a few times myself, that the alternate reality that's really in front of us, it may be the real reality. And the question is, what we're seeing, we only see less than 1% of the light spectrum. So what we're seeing even the real reality, or is this bent so that we can just, as we were seeing it upside down to begin with, is it's already bent so that we can manage to walk through this without seeing the digital code that may be right in front of us in the first place. And that would explain a lot of the Mandela effects and everything else, just rewriting the code, right?
I love this.
Well, yeah, that was one of the things too that started feeding me back to, of all things, the gateway process. In there, I can't remember the name of the person who wrote it. He talks about solid matter simply does not exist. It's just an oscillating energy field. We think that we have a solid hand, but actually there's enough room between all the atoms that our hand should go like, through each other. But it's that vibration that creates a field that, gives us the, appearance of having matter. But that, you go down small enough, you go down a Planck's distance and all physics just goes, it doesn't matter anymore. None of it works.
So based on Dan Go's experience, then, is the DMT the molecule that holds us solid in this universe? The DMT that we naturally have and we release when we die, right? So the DMT in us, poof, as we go poof, so we are released from this energetic field, this wherever none of us really know where. We all speculate, but until we're dead, and even when we're dead, we may not really know where we are right now, if that matters. But yeah, when we pass, is that DMT released so that we then leave this realm and slip forth into another realm? And so DMT might be way more important to humans than we really give it any credit.
Interesting. And how many of us have stood next to a wall with our hand on the wall and try to push our hand? Have you ever done that? Stand next to a wall and try to push your hand into it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
After Star Wars, after watching like The Empire Strikes Back, we tried to do everything, right? I'm going to lift the ship. I'm going to move this rock. We try it all, right? Did we not?
That's awesome. And I want to say something that Millie, our friend Millie, she's a big supporter of most of our channels, and 3 of us here know her. And she wrote, "The tougher the road, the better the reward." So you think about it, I'm gonna circle back to like Darren saying he's been on the path his entire life, and we've all been on our paths for different lengths. And I think there's a lot of truth in that, because what's happening is look at that path that you've been on, Darren. And you look at it and you think, this has prepared you to be right here, right now, to be discussing things like this with us. You see, all of us have been prepared to be right here in this moment. And it's interesting to think about it that way. And you never handed something that you can't get through. You may have to do it 3 or 4 times or 20, but you're never handed something that you can't get through.
Or multiple lifetimes in some cases.
Oh, yeah.
What I figured out, I'm a Cancer South node and a Cancer North. I'm a Cancer South node, and I'm a Cancer Sun. So what I figured out, at least for myself, is if you're a double sign, if you're a South node and then the same sign again on your next lifetime, like a Sun, then generally it's a rinse and repeat lifetime. All right, so I'm the same as I was last time. So I have to do this again so that I get it right. I didn't get it right last time.
Excellent.
So I would say that you are big into the eclipses and the moons and the astrology stuff. Am I right about that, or
the eclipses?
What?
Who are you
Say
asking,
again?
Darren?
Oh, Josh. I think it's Josh, right?
Yeah. What's the question there?
No, you're big into like the astrology and all of that.
I'm just waking up to that. I'm not. I taught myself astrology. I didn't have any, like a year ago. Is like I started waking up literally last summer. I started, wait a minute, I'm a Cancer South node, a Capricorn. Wait a minute, that makes sense. I'm alone, right? So, and I don't have any emotional or physical support generally in my universe physically. I mean, I do in YouTube and such, but I don't have anybody here. And so as a Capricorn, being a Cancer, I have to step out of that, right? And so, wait a minute, I'm a Cancer, so I need family, but then I don't have any. I step into my Capricorn, my North node, where I don't have any family, but I have the strength within myself. So I started waking up to those things and seeing the correlation of my numerology, astrology, all of it, kind of waking. And working with the moon as a Cancer, especially the moon periods, and working with full moon and the new moon. Yeah, I started kind of waking up to all that, but all those things kind of just took their time coming in. I had to get past a lot of dark energies within myself before I could see anything that would help bring in any light. So, but yeah, I've been working with astrology for about a year, and it's made a huge difference to my universe.
Interesting.
Nice.
Absolutely. But from my end, my awakening, I'll throw out my awakening since it's, I started the day that Trump, this is going to be weird and there's no politics involved and people laugh, but it's the honest case and there's nothing behind it, guys. But the day Trump first took office, when he gave his victory speech, the first time I turned off my TV. That month before I had started falling into the dark night of the soul. I'd started listening to this To the Sea by To the Sea by I'm trying to remember the name of the band at this point. But there was a song that kept coming across, and it'll come to me. But when you're on the spot, try to remember something you don't always.
Is it YMCA?
No, gosh, YMCA. What? What the hell? No, it was not. No, it was Goodbye, My Friends. I can't remember who sings the song, but anyways, the song kept playing in my universe, and finally, Alan Parsons Project. There we go. The song To the Sea. There, yeah, and it just kept playing, and it kept getting darker. It's like I hit this universal time switch in my life where it's like, send him into the dark night of the soul, right? You know how people like show up in our universe and it's like the director, like, all right, send this person across the street, into your universe. And so like I hit that switch and literally I started listening to that song like 100,000 times and I just kind of fell into this dark energy and I fell into my own dark night of the soul. It was just like, it just happened, whether I wanted it or not. And it just swallowed me up. And so here I am now. Trump was elected at 14. And so wait till 10 years later, essentially, I'm on the climb out. I mean, it took that long. Crying every night, generally. Then burning through things, and you realize I ended up having a past life regression session in between all that, which broke open 3 past lives, which showed me that I'm on a narcissistic abuse and abandonment pattern. And I was able to see my core trauma, which was my mother 7 lifetimes ago. This is the 8th lifetime. So 8 lifetimes ago, abandoning me. She's on a horse. She's wearing green. There's the grass and the hills. It must be like Scotland or Ireland or something. And she hands me over to this guy in a kilt and a sword and like, here you go, have this kid. And she walks off and I could see her walking off because I'm being helped by, and I'm looking back and it's like a movie. And that's my core trauma, my solid core trauma. So I'm on the 7, this is my pattern. So I'm on the 7 lifetime path to clear all that. And so now I'm on the back end of all that. And just as much as going through the dark night of the soul, it's actually kind of easier because it takes care of itself. You just fall into it. Now I'm on the back end where I have to do all the work and climb myself. Like Victor said there, I'm climbing out of that hole and I'm just about ready to put my second hand out of the hole and push my body and pop out of the hole and see that. So we're right there. And I think that was really spot on. But yeah, so I've been slogging this out for, so almost 10 years. Every night, I had to, my 2 lifetimes ago, I was raging alcoholic. So I spent 6 months burning off the karma from that and all kinds of craziness. But yeah, so it's all what it is, but it's all to bring you back into yourself as source. When I was like 5, here's craziness. When I was like 5, I was telling people, they're like, so what do you want to be? You know how they ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, oh, all of this won't matter. I was telling people like 5 and 7 years old that going to work won't matter in your lifetime and that all of this is going to shift. And people look at me like I'm absolutely nuts, right? And I'm telling people at 5 years old that you are God, your source. You are your own walking around on earth. So that source, God is just walking around on earth. So he realizes the physical. And I'm telling people this at like 5 and 7. It held nothing to me though. Internally, I knew it. Intrinsically, I knew I was source. But I didn't have any feeling behind it, and I was stuck in so much karmic energy that really until 2020, 21, 22, when I started going, all right, why are these X's in the sky? And re-waking up, so to speak. Well, what's going on here? And why are they feeding us all this fear, but none of this stuff's actually happening and whatnot? And then that's when I started the shift. Of course, we all know the 11-9 situation. We're going to do it backwards here. The 11-9, right? We know that. That kind of really kicked it in. I think that kicked it in the teeth for a lot of people. That's why you're seeing the grander ascension now, is because it's like, wait a minute, what's really going on here? And so, but it takes time. These things take energetic time to kind of percolate within us. And so that's why I think we're seeing the pop in a lot of people now, is because of the energetics that that have happened in the past 20 years, really.
Well, that's cool. I'm really happy to hear that you were not a prince or some kind of high up person every time in your past lives, Josh. That's so
Gosh,
refreshing.
no,
Because
no, my last past.
you go to some of these people and they're like, "Oh, you were a prince, and
No.
before that, you were a king," and
No.
and of course that can happen to some of us. It just depends on our path, you know. But it's like when you start hearing from from some past life regressionist that, "Oh, well, you were this grand thing," and yeah, some people were queens and kings, and
Nope.
I certainly have not come across that in any of mine. So
No. My last life, I
awesome.
was a cocaine addict who robbed a bank in 1968 to get shot in the back so that I could respawn now in 73 when I was reborn, to be part of the Ascension. So I contracted. I was like, wait a minute, I fell off timeline. So I contracted with the cop to shoot me in the back on the streets of San Francisco. I can see it as bright as day. I tried to rob this bank. I walked out with nothing and then got shot in the back, dropped dead, and now here I am, being reborn in 73 so that I could realign with the Ascension timeline and not be like in my 80s right now, right? 70s.
So they loved you enough as a soul to give you that experience. Even though
Exactly.
it was, quote, a bad experience. But, we're the sum. We're the sum of our experiences right now. We are the sum of our, quote, deemed bad experience and deemed positive experiences.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
What,
Some of our worst experiences are the best things that could ever happen to us, but we don't see it. It's hindsight. It's always 2020.
Yes.
what kind of regression did you do, Josh?
It wasn't the QI, or is it QST or QRT? The Dolores Cannon method. It was just literally, she just literally just regressed me straight up. She was just like, all right, we're going to put you into a trance. We're going to take you to 3 lifetimes. She didn't have as many of the, and it may have been a little bit of like Dolores Cannon's method, but mixed in there. But really it was, she took me back. She said, I'm going to take you back to your core trauma. What are you seeing? And I saw it. I was like, I see the horse. I see hills. I see a woman in a green dress. I see a guy in a kilt and a sword. And then I saw it. It's as clear as a movie. Boom. Knowing that, and once it took 2 years, year and a half for it to all settle in, but knowing that, then I shifted everything. I got to see another lifetime. It was like 1910. I was a press operator in New York somewhere, pulling a lever, on a 5,000-pound press, smashing metal. I took the job from somebody who lost their hand, smash. And there was no safety. I died as an alcoholic back then. I sat at a table. I'd go to work. I'd come home. I'd walk past the newsstand. The guy would slip me my bottle. I'd grab a newspaper. I'd go sit down at the table. I'd pass out. And I died at that table. I'm in a pauper's grave somewhere in Brooklyn, Bronx, somewhere out there in New York City. Yeah, I'm in a pauper's grave. I died alone. The same table. As what's crazy, it's the same table that I had in my past life regression session that I would sit at, with the same hurricane chairs, showed up at Goodwill and used to be in my universe. It's like, wait a minute, this is the exact same replica of the same table that I see in my. And so, yeah. And then my last lifetime, I was somewhat with the Grateful Dead in San Francisco. I mean, I'm a Deadhead now, so it kind of fits. But yeah, and then I died robbing a bank, and now here I am. So all of that together equal, yeah, but it took years. And anybody who gets a past life regression session, it takes a while for your body to integrate all that and all that energy. But once it came through, it was like, boom. Now I see everything. I have a karmic mother. I know why. I have a father who's like, well, I'm sorry to hear that. And that's karmic, and that's all he says to my universe, and that's karmic as hell. And so now I know why I chose those parents. It all breaks open, and it's like, all right, I needed to complete, and I know what I need to complete, and it just cleared it all out. It was like, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense, as my left ear's ringing, and so it just all kind of fits in, and so that's where I stand now, and seeing that, it's like, all right, so I'm clearing this entire timeline. I can't see anything behind the 8 years, and the rest of those years filled in. Turns out my last girlfriend was my mother from 4 lifetimes ago to help me clear my current mother. If I can clear her, I clear my current mother. Lots of things like that. You start to see those patterns, right? You start to see more threads. Oh, wait, this boss is karmic. Why? Oh, I have to clear this energy. She's acting like my mother in this way. I didn't clear this. It just breaks it all open. And it's like, wow, this is so, I'm not going to say it's so easy, because it's not. Fixing your energetics is probably the hardest thing you'll ever do in your universe. But that's why we're here. So, but once it kicks over and it starts to have its effect, if anybody has if you start seeing patterns, to me, it was just seeing those same patterns. The same people keep showing up. What's going on? Keep getting the same karmic bosses. I keep leaving or losing really lose because I wasn't in space. These same cruddy jobs. Why? And so what's going on? And it all brought it right into play. It makes it easy. It puts it right in front of you.
Cool.
Yeah, I asked. I've done well. I've had QHHT and BQHT, past life regression stuff, and then I've been doing it for a while, like actually doing them. But not. I don't really do QHHT too much because of the stipulations of a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I do more like BQH, which is on quantum, which is very similar but different because you can do it online. You have more flexibility with it. So I do agree with a lot of what you said. It's like, and a lot of it's just belief system, that we've, and just changing those. And
Someone's background noise is drowning you out, Darren.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somebody's got something going.
Yeah, I do hear that. So I can definitely resonate on that because I've had it's almost like you keep experiencing the same thing, just a different body basically. Like you
Exactly.
said, like another friend, another same exact situation, just a different body, same person you keep dating, Yeah,
exactly. That's why I'm so big into Groundhog's Day, because until we realize what we're doing, we're just repeating our universes, just with different faces, just with new energy.
Yeah, pretty much. And I had that happen to me with family members and not close family members, and I've gotten to the point, like you said, with the energetics, where you're not actually triggered anymore, and you've essentially moved beyond it, and it's what a place to be, compared to being triggered all the time and reactive. And
Well, what helped me was to be able to realize through all of this that these aren't my situations. None of it is. My mother's karmic energy is my mother's karmic energy based on the fact that her father treated her like garbage. So now she treats me like garbage because she doesn't know any better. That's not my problem. It's her problem. I'm the one who has to deal with it and bear it. But from her end, it's her issue to change herself. It's my issue to just go, okay, that's you, and deal with it by walking away from it. But I wouldn't have seen any of those things if I didn't have the past life regression session first to break open the fact that I'm in this pattern and these people are in my universe, to jumpstart me into myself as source and to wake me up to see that all of this isn't even who I am to begin with.
But then you have to jump too. You have to add something else to that. Is if you go back a couple more lifetimes, did you incur that karma with your mom that she was giving to you? You follow me?
I don't believe that, but I see where you're going.
Yeah.
I believe personally, I sat down 8 lifetimes ago with I have a bit of I can see my council of elders. I can see the room. I can get thumbs up or thumbs down if I ask them a question. I could also see my Akashic hallway, and I communicate with my Akashic records keeper at times. But from my end, it was a matter of we're all in cycles of some sort. So we're all here completing some sort of karmic cycle, whatever we choose, like the wheel of karma, right? So spin the wheel and see what you want. Narcissistic abuse. Do you want to be in a rich family that ignores you? So you learn to be you stand in your own. What do you want for your universe? And so when I spun the wheel of karma there, I chose narcissistic abuse and abandonment issues, mostly abandonment issues more than narcissistic abuse. And so I chose this. I don't think that. So I invoked, if you want to state it that way, those energies into my cycle so that I forgot, maybe I woke up and realized, okay, I am source. We have to do it again, right? So we wipe all that over, start on a brand new cycle. So I can't see anything past this current cycle. There's like a wall that the universe won't let me see whatsoever. But so I'm stuck in I'm in the 8th year of this cycle. But I know now that I'm clearing that cycle. I'm walking through the energies of that cycle now. And do I think I invoked it? No, I just chose it off the wheel of karma. Like, what do I want to experience so that I can wake up as source? I didn't realize that until I realized that. So when I sat down after clearing my last cycle with my council of elders, I went, all right, I guess I need a new cycle. Spun the the Price is Right wheel, so to speak. And I didn't get $1, I got 50 cents, right? And so, but I chose this. And so that's when you really realize it's like, I'm getting yelled at by my mother, but I chose this mother to yell at me so that I wake up and realize who I am as source. It's hard to fathom that when you're, getting exactly Darren shaking his head there. It's really hard to fathom that you're like, all right, so I chose this karmic boss who's about to fire me, so that why? But you do these things. We do these things for our highest good, which is what when you kind of realize all that, there's nothing left to do but laugh. To be honest with you, it's like, oh Christ, I created all this. Oh my
It's
God.
almost absurd.
Right. Exactly. I contracted for all this, just like all of us. Somewhere in the astral, we met at the astral bar somewhere and said, all right, I'll catch you back on Earth and we'll see each other on YouTube. And there's no doubt about it. There's nothing that's happenstance in this universe.
No, 100%. It's yeah. Like almost like your soul signature. Like, oh, I want to experience for having to forgive or having to, so then you're put in these situations by you and for you to go through forgiveness and having to forgive or grieving or whatever the case may be.
You have to pick your darkness to find your light. Sadly, the only way to find light, unless generally, I don't know, you have to know darkness first. So we have to choose our wheel of darkness, whatever that is, and we're all in that wheel. I don't believe that there's anybody here like when a visitor's visa to planet Earth, like for their first time, since we're in the ascension process, that we're all here closing out, generally speaking, those cycles, so that once we close out all of our cycles, then Earth can close out it, we can move forward as a species. But we all have to close. That's the coming together and closing out all of our karma, which we're doing now. And each one of us has our individual awakening, right? And so we have that awakening that we're in this cycle. We don't have to go through these crazy cycles again because we wake up as source. And if we all do so in generally the same, even if it's multiple lifetimes, it's still generally the same time frame for planet Earth, then all of us as humanity can ascend forward out of the karmic cycles that we keep generating for ourselves to keep realizing we're source. We just stay as source together as one.
Mm-hmm.
So do you look at it as a culmination, as each lifetime adding to more and more of your knowledge? Like some of the knowledge will come through and you'll get it when the time is right. I look at it as any past lives I've had are the culmination. They're all manifesting in me right now and making me the person that I am. And is that your understanding as well, gentlemen?
Yeah, you're taking it all with you. So everything that you're experiencing here, you're going to bring it with you if you go to another life, Yeah, I totally 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of the Bagel movie in that aspect, the Everything Everywhere All at Once, where all of your lifetimes, technically, because it's just the way we see time on Earth, they're all linear, right? But technically, everything that we're doing in the billion different experiences that we're actually incarnated into, right? Because you're an infinite being having an infinite number of experiences in an infinite number of lifetimes in an infinite number of universes mirrored forever. So that being the case, this is the only one that you're vibrating at, but there's a you that's the president. There's a you that's in a universe that's walking dogs. There's a billion, like the multiverse episode of Family Guy almost, right? If you remember that one. But so you're only grounded into this one, but you can reach into each of those lifetimes if you are standing here and reach into those if you can vibrate into them and pull what you need out of those into your current frame as well, and vice versa. You're not just standing here as an individual person. You're a multi-dimensional energetic field that reaches all space and all time. So you can reach into that at any time.
Awesome.
I don't know if that relates, if anybody here can relate to that or see how they're pulling energies from themselves, but in another space and time, theoretically.
I've done that example before. I did this, I guess, about a year ago. I kind of saw a bunch of myselves lined up. All right. Just on this enormous field. There's thousands, we'll just say tens of thousands of me, versions of me. And as I go up the vibrational frequency, I'm stepping into another version of me. And those lesser versions, or just not my currently desired versions, are going by the wayside. And it's almost like this big field of me's, and I am working my way up to the top, you see, because those versions are out there of each and every one of us. We just have to embrace them and move into them, you see. They're already there. We just have to move into that version of us that's already
Exactly.
experiencing that specific vibration or experiencing that lifestyle.
I like
Love
that. Yeah, I love that. That's a really good way to put it. Because we've all got there's all. I mean, if we're in where are we at? If either way, it's a multidimensional universe. Whether it's a computer simulation, which Ben is certainly looking to find out there, or if this is an organic. If this is organic, which I don't believe it's fully organic, I don't know how it could be. Then yeah, if the question becomes then, are we a simulation of ourselves? That's the real question. Are we just an I mean, if we're source, right? We're just an energetic field. Are we just the code that's running this frame? And when we look back and we're like, ooh, source love, right? Was that just a coder putting us to, who knows, right?
Cool. Well, I'm at a hard stop, gentlemen.
Gotcha.
God, that hour goes fast, doesn't it, Darren?
It does. I really enjoyed this with you guys, man. We're going to open up some really bad conversation.
Hey, come this way, Darren. I'm having
Yeah,
trouble
you gotta
hearing
lean forward.
There you go.
There we
yeah.
go.
No, I said I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys, all of you, did as well. And I think we're going to open up some really rad conversations for sure.
Yeah, this is blessed. I'm grateful to be a part of this, and I thank you guys for inviting me for sure.
Heck
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Darren, for putting this together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Darren, thank you. And
Yeah, but
yeah, Darren, thank you for your channeling the other day. I caught your channeling message there. That was fantastic. So
Thank
as
you.
a channeler there, anytime I see somebody channel, eventually maybe we'll have you channel on the channel there. But anybody who channels there, I certainly give respect to, because you got to be in a space to be able to pick up a channel there, and it's not an easy thing to do. You have to be in that balanced energy. So favor Darren, that was great.
Yeah, and Eric too. Eric channels too. A bunch of.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so maybe we'll reverse this here and do a channeling panel and.
Well, that would be cool.
Cool.
I was also going to say, somebody in chat said Richard said they recognized those symbols you put on the whiteboard. And then I was just going to comment, the one symbol that's like the little wave with the line through it, that's used in multivariable calculus, and I've seen it used in the if you know the whole giant equation for string theory, I'm pretty sure I've seen it there as well.
Wow.
You're kicking down doors there, Satan. That one, brother.
That's exactly why I kept drawing those up there. I kept hoping somebody would say, dude, I recognize that. I was hoping, because I've been trying to find what's any of this means.
I love this.
But I will definitely go back and look at the comments. I missed the one. Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome, buddy.
Yeah. Thought you might enjoy that, but yeah, the one symbol I definitely recognize from calculus. So.
Wow. Putting a calculus symbol in there, that shifts everything, seeing a calculus symbol in the wall there. Yeah, it leans more and more to the fact that we might be living in the Matrix, might be more real than we ever want to think it is in some aspect.
Well,
yeah.
if it is, I'm going to be flying soon.
There you go. I just want to bend backwards like he does with the bullets coming by. I want to move in slow motion.
I'll skip the bullets. I just want to fly.
No, I just want to move in slow motion. Do it.
I second the flying.
Oh yeah.
All right, my friends. Love this.
Hey guys,
Darren,
thank you so much.
kudos.
Thank you all.
I'll see you guys soon.
All right.